You know, this feeling has likely followed you all your life. Well, when you realize that some things come suspiciously easy to me, but here I've been banging my head against a wall for years and nothing changes. In this video, I want to show you a calculation that Edgar Cayce spoke about. We'll take your date of birth and derive one single number, and Cayce believed that it's not random at all. It's something like your vibrational signature, which the soul chose even before you ended up here. I'll teach you how to calculate it. I'll tell you about the light side of each number and, more importantly, about its dark shadow. And I'll tell you right away how seriously you should take all of this. But first, find a pen and a piece of paper. Seriously, you're going to need them now.
Why numbers matter. Before we calculate anything, you need to understand why Cayce took numbers seriously. Because he didn't approach numerology the way most people do, as a parlor game or a personality quiz. He approached it as a branch of vibrational science. In one of his most quoted readings on this subject, Cayce drew a direct parallel between numbers, music, and color. He explained that musical scales are composed of specific tones and that the half-tones, the notes between the main notes, are the breaking points where one vibration shifts into another. He said the same principle operates in color. Certain numerical combinations of light frequencies produce certain colors, and where those combinations shift, the color changes. Numbers, Cayce said, work the same way. They are not arbitrary symbols. They are expressions of real vibrational frequencies, the same frequencies that organize music, light, matter, and consciousness itself. Think about what this means for your birth date. The universe is organized by vibration. Music, light, the elements, the seasons, all of it follows numerical patterns. And according to Cayce, your soul, before incarnating, chose to enter the physical world on a date that carries a specific vibrational frequency. Not at random, not by accident, by design. But, and this is where Cayce was emphatic, numbers are signs, not dictators. In another reading, he stated clearly that numbers are merely omens or signs, not factors that produce. Your destiny number doesn't force you into anything. It doesn't lock you into a fate. It describes the vibrational environment your soul chose to work within, the frequency you were born into, the lesson you came to learn, the strengths you brought with you, and the weaknesses you came to overcome. The number doesn't control you, but ignoring it is a little like ignoring the key signature of a piece of music. You can play whatever notes you want, but if you don't know what key you're in, you'll be fighting the music instead of flowing with it. Cayce also said something remarkable about the source of this knowledge. When asked about the best system of numerology, he pointed to ancient traditions, what he described as a combination of the Persian or Chaldean, the Egyptian, the Indian, the Indo-Chinese. In other words, this isn't a modern invention. It's an ancient system that multiple civilizations arrived at independently because they were all observing the same underlying reality. The universe is built on number.
A quick, honest note from me before we move on. Cayce himself left no ready-made guide on numbers. He only has individual readings, including a famous one where he states the principle that numbers carry vibration, just like music and color. The descriptions of each number I'm about to break down aren't direct quotes from Edgar Cayce. They're a synthesis of his system with the ancient numerological traditions he himself pointed to: Chaldean, Egyptian, Indian, and Talmudic. Take what follows as a useful lens built on his principles, rather than as words directly from his mouth. I'm not a numerologist. I'm someone who spends a lot of time with these materials, and what I'm sharing now is what I've found within them. Cayce himself said that numbers are signs, not factors that determine anything. Take everything I tell you just as I do, through a lens and not as a final verdict. If something resonates, sit with it. If not, let it go. And now I'll show you how to find your number.
How to calculate. This is simple. You need only your full date of birth. Take each digit of your complete birth date, day, month, and year, and add them all together. Keep adding until you reach a single digit between 1 and 9. Let me show you with Cayce himself. He was born March 18th, 1877. The month is 3. The day, 1 plus 8, gives you 9. The year, 1 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7, gives you 23. Then 2 plus 3 gives you 5. Now add those three results together. 3 plus 9 plus 5 equals 17. Then 1 plus 7 equals 8. Edgar Cayce's destiny number was 8. One important note before you do your own. If at any stage of your addition you hit 11, 22, or 33 before reducing to a single digit, stop there. Don't reduce further. You carry what's called a master number, and we'll address those separately at the end of the video. It's worth the wait.
Now it's your turn. Pause the video if you need to. Grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down your date of birth. Add up the digits just like I showed you a moment ago. Reduce it to a single digit unless you happen to get 11, 22, or 33 along the way. Don't skip this step. The rest of this video is built around the number you're about to find. If you just listen, none of this will really click for you. Got your number? Good. Keep it in mind, or better yet, write it on a sticky note and put it where you can see it. Now I'll explain what each one means. If you suddenly have difficulties calculating your destiny number, or if something isn't working out for you, here's what you can do. Especially for you, I've created a small page where you can calculate your destiny number automatically. To do this, you need to follow the link in the description of this video, enter your day, month, and year of birth, and click the button. The system will automatically calculate your number, and you'll be able to read information about it. It will be available right there on the same page.
Destiny number 1, the initiator. Edgar Cayce described 1 as the beginning, the essence of all force, all manners of energies. 1 is the number of origin, of starting, of the first spark that sets everything in motion. If your destiny number is 1, your soul came here to initiate, to begin things that didn't exist before. You're not here to follow, you're here to create a path that others will later walk. This might show up as entrepreneurship, as leadership, as artistic creation, or simply as being the person in your family or community who breaks a pattern that no one else had the courage to break. Your strength is originality. You see possibilities where others see blank walls. You have an inner drive that doesn't depend on external validation. When you're aligned with your purpose, you move forward whether anyone follows or not. Your shadow is isolation. The same independence that makes you a pioneer can make you lonely. Ones often struggle with asking for help, with vulnerability, with the feeling that no one truly understands their vision. The trap is believing that because you're meant to lead, you're meant to lead alone. The soul lesson. True initiation isn't about being first. It's about being brave enough to begin what your soul knows is needed, and then humble enough to let others contribute. Destiny number 2, the bridge. 2 is the number of relationship, of duality, of the space between opposing forces. Where 1 is the spark, 2 is the connection between sparks. If your number is 2, your soul came here to bridge, to mediate, to hold space between things that seem incompatible. People, ideas, energies, worlds. You are a natural diplomat, a peacemaker, a translator between those who can't understand each other. Your strength is sensitivity. You feel things others miss. The tension in a room, the unspoken need in a conversation, the subtle shift in someone's energy. This isn't weakness. It's a perceptual ability that not everyone has. You read the space between people the way a musician reads the silence between notes. Your shadow is self-erasure. 2s are so attuned to others that they can lose themselves entirely. You absorb other people's emotions. You compromise until there's nothing left of your own position. You become a mirror with no face of its own. The soul lesson. Bridging doesn't mean disappearing. The bridge is its own structure. Strong, essential, bearing weight. You can hold space for others without vacating yourself. Destiny number 3, the voice. 3 is the number of expression, of creativity, of the manifestation of spirit into form. In Cayce's cosmology, spirit, mind, physical. 3 is the number of the physical world itself. The world where invisible things become visible, where the unspoken becomes spoken. If your number is 3, your soul came here to express, to take what's inside and give it form, through words, through art, through music, through any medium that makes the invisible audible. You are a channel, not necessarily in the psychic sense, but in the creative sense. Energy flows through you and takes shape. Your strength is communication. You can make people feel things. Your words, your presence, your creative output have an impact that goes beyond information. They touch something emotional and spiritual in others. Your shadow is scattered energy. 3s are so full of creative impulses that they often start everything and finish nothing. The talent is broad, but the discipline is thin. The other shadow is superficiality, using your gift for charm and entertainment instead of the deeper expression your soul is actually here to deliver. The soul lesson, expression without depth, is noise. Your soul didn't come here to be charming. It came here to say something true. Find what that is.
3 numbers are done. If yours is one of these 3, 1, 2, or 3, sit with it for a while, especially its shadow side. The light side is always easier to accept. The shadow is where the real work happens. If your number is further along, keep watching. We're going in order, and we'll get to your number soon as well.
Destiny number 4, the foundation. 4 is the number of structure, of stability, of the physical plane. 4 corners, 4 elements, 4 directions. It is the number of the material world in its most solid, reliable form. If your number is 4, your soul came here to build, not castles in the sky. Foundations on the ground. You're here to create something lasting, something that other people can depend on. Your purpose is structure, in a world that desperately needs it. Your strength is reliability. When you commit to something, it gets done. You have a work ethic that others admire and sometimes envy. You see the practical steps between vision and reality, and you have the patience to take them one at a time. Your shadow is rigidity. 4s can become so attached to structure that they resist change, fear disorder, and crush spontaneity in themselves and in others. The other shadow is self-denial, believing that duty and sacrifice are the same thing. That rest is laziness, that if you stop building, everything will collapse. The soul lesson. The strongest foundations have flexibility built into them. An earthquake doesn't destroy a building that can bend. Your soul came here to build, but also to know when to stop building and start living. Destiny number 5, the explorer. 5 sits at the midpoint of the single digits, and everything about it reflects that restless, pivotal energy. 5 is the number of change, of freedom, of sensory experience. If your number is 5, your soul came here to experience, to taste everything, to refuse limitation. You are here to explore the full range of physical, emotional, and spiritual existence. Not from a book, but from direct contact. You learn by doing, by going, by feeling. Your strength is adaptability. You thrive in change. Where others see disruption, you see opportunity. You can walk into any situation, any culture, any crisis, and find your footing. Life with you is never boring. Your shadow is excess. 5s are so drawn to experience that they can lose themselves in it. In pleasure, in substances, in constant motion that's really running disguised as exploring. The other shadow is commitment phobia. If every horizon calls to you, you may never build anything deep enough to matter. The soul lesson. Freedom isn't the absence of commitment. It's the ability to commit to the right things without losing your essential nature. Your soul came here to explore, but exploration without integration is just movement. Destiny number 6, the healer. 6 is the number of harmony, of responsibility, of love in its most practical form. Not romantic love, but the love that shows up, that cares for, that takes responsibility for the well-being of others. If your number is 6, your soul came here to heal, to restore balance, to create beauty and harmony in environments, homes, families, communities that have lost their equilibrium. You are the one people come to when things are broken, not because you have the answers, but because your presence itself is restorative. Your strength is devotion. You care deeply and show it through action, not words. Your home, your family, your circle of care. These are the spaces where you do your soul's work. Your shadow is martyrdom. 6s give until they're empty, then feel resentful that no one gives back. You set yourself on fire to keep others warm and then wonder why you're burned. The other shadow is control disguised as care, managing other people's lives because you, quote, know what's best for them. The soul lesson. You cannot heal others from an empty well. The first person your soul came here to heal is you. And real healing means letting people find their own way, not carrying them on your back.
A quick personal note. When I calculated my number, it turned out to be 5, the researcher. And my first thought was, yeah, of course, it all adds up. I've always been drawn to new things. I can't stay on one topic for long, always expanding my horizons. But then I read about my shadow side, and that was already uncomfortable. A 5 can expand endlessly without going deep. It can run to something new every time it needs to stop and finish the old. I recognized that in myself right away. But I want to say it's not a verdict. Just a description of a pattern I already felt but couldn't put a name to. Once this pattern had a name, it became easier to work with. Alright, 3 more numbers to go. If yours is later on the list, your turn is coming soon.
Destiny number 7, the seeker. Edgar Cayce associated 7 with mystery, with spiritual depth, with the unseen world. It's the number of the contemplative, the mystic, the one who looks beneath the surface of everything. If your number is 7, your soul came here to understand, not to believe, to know. You have an inborn dissatisfaction with surface answers. You need to see the mechanism behind the appearance, the truth behind the doctrine, the reality behind the story everyone else accepts. Your strength is depth of perception. You see what others miss. You think in dimensions that most people don't access. Your mind naturally gravitates to the profound, the hidden, the esoteric. Your shadow is isolation and intellectual arrogance. 7s can retreat so far into their inner world that they lose connection with outer reality and with the people in it. The other shadow is analysis paralysis. You can spend so long trying to understand life that you forget to live it. The soul lesson: understanding is not the same as wisdom. Wisdom includes the body, the heart, the relationship. Your soul came here to seek truth, but truth that stays in the mind alone is only half true. Destiny number 8, the sovereign. 8 is the number of power, of authority, of the mastery of the material plane. It is the number of manifestation, the ability to make things real in the physical world. Edgar Cayce himself carried this number. If your number is 8, your soul came here to master the relationship between the spiritual and the material, not to reject the physical world, to work skillfully within it, to demonstrate that spiritual power and material success are not opposites, but aspects of the same force. Your strength is manifestation. You have an unusual ability to turn vision into reality. Resources, opportunities, and people are drawn to you. When you're aligned with your purpose, you create abundance, not just for yourself, but for everyone in your orbit. Your shadow is the corruption of power. 8s face a particular spiritual test, the temptation to use their manifesting ability for purely selfish ends. Money, status, control. The same force that can build a hospital can build a prison. The other shadow is the fear of this power, leading some 8s to sabotage their own success or avoid leadership they were born for. The soul lesson. Power is not the problem. Unconscious power is the problem. Your soul came here to demonstrate that a human being can wield material authority and remain spiritually awake. Cayce himself struggled with this all his life. The readings constantly warned him about the relationship between his gift and money. Destiny number 9, the completion. And the final single digit. If you carry a 9, you carry the heaviest and arguably the most beautiful of all the single numbers. 9 is the end of the cycle, the number of universal love, wisdom, and the soul that has been everywhere and done everything, and now must learn to let go. If your number is 9, your soul came here to complete. Not just a single lesson, but a whole phase of development. You carry the residue of many lifetimes, many experiences, many roles. There is a depth and a worldliness to you that other people sense but can't always explain. Your strength is compassion. You understand human suffering not abstractly but personally. Because in Cayce's view, your soul has experienced it from every angle. You have a natural ability to see the big picture, to hold space for complexity, to accept people as they are rather than as you wish they were. Your shadow is world weariness. 9s can become exhausted by the weight of what they carry. You've seen too much. You know too much. The temptation is to detach, to become the wise observer who watches everything from a distance but never fully engages. The other shadow is an inability to let go, clinging to people, identities, situations that your soul has already outgrown. The soul lesson. Completion requires release. You are here to finish what was started and then to open your hands. The cycle ends when you stop holding on.
If your number is 11, 22, or 33, those master numbers that I mentioned at the beginning, then this next part is for you. And don't worry, they don't cancel out what we've already covered. They actually reinforce it. If you've already reduced everything to a single digit, you should still listen. Most likely, someone in your life carries one of these numbers, and perhaps you will recognize them.
Master number 11, the intuitive channel. 11 reduces to 2, so you carry all of the bridge's sensitivity and relational awareness, but amplified to a spiritual frequency. 11s are naturally intuitive, deeply perceptive, and often feel as though they receive information from sources beyond the rational mind. Cayce described 11 as carrying the beauty of numbers, but also a particular kind of fragility. The beauty is the connection to higher dimensions of awareness. The fragility is the nervous system. 11s are often overwhelmed by the very sensitivity that makes them gifted. Anxiety, hyperstimulation, the inability to filter out other people's energy. These are the 11's daily challenges. Your mission, to serve as a channel between dimensions, translating spiritual perception into ordinary human language, but only if you learn to protect your own energy first. Master number 22, the Master Builder. 22 reduces to 4, so you carry the foundation's stability and practical skill, but amplified to a much larger scale. Where 4 builds a house, 22 builds institutions, movements, systems that shape communities. Cayce's own organization is itself a 22 manifestation, a practical structure built to carry spiritual material across generations. The shadow of 22 is the crushing weight of the vision. You see what needs to be built, and it's enormous. The gap between your inner vision and your current capacity can paralyze you. Many 22s live as frustrated 4s, building small because they're afraid of building big. Your mission: to create something lasting that serves more than just yourself. Not alone. The master builder always works with others. Your job is the blueprint and the foundation. Others will complete the structure. Master number 33, the master teacher. 33 reduces to 6, so you carry the healer's devotion and responsibility, but amplified to a level that can feel almost unbearable. Where 6 heals a family, 33 heals a wider circle. This is the rarest of the master numbers, and those who carry it often feel the weight of it long before they understand what it is. 33s are born with an extraordinary capacity for compassion. Not the soft, comfortable kind, but the kind that looks suffering in the face and doesn't flinch. You feel the pain of others as if it were your own. You can walk into a room and know, without a word being spoken, who is hurting and why. This isn't empathy in the ordinary sense. It's a different kind of awareness. You absorb, you process, you transform. And in doing so, you teach others what unconditional love actually looks like in practice. The shadow of 33 is self-sacrifice to the point of destruction. You give everything, you carry everyone. You pour yourself out until there's nothing left, and then you feel guilty for being empty. The other shadow is what Cayce would have called the Messiah complex. The belief that you alone can save the people around you, that their suffering is your personal responsibility, that rest is a betrayal of your mission. Your mission: to embody love as a teaching, not through lectures or lessons, but through the way you live. The master teacher doesn't teach with words, it teaches by being. But the hardest lesson for the 33 is this: you cannot teach anyone to love themselves if you haven't learned to love yourself first. How to live with your destiny number. So now you know your number. You know its light and its shadow. But knowledge alone changes nothing. Cayce was relentless about this. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Application is everything. Information that doesn't become practice becomes just another thing you know but don't use. So here are 4 small ways to actually work with your destiny number in daily life. Not grand, spiritual rituals. Small, deliberate acts. First, name the shadow out loud. Take your number's shadow and write it on a piece of paper. 1 sentence. I isolate myself when I'm afraid. I give until I disappear. I chase experiences to avoid feeling. Whatever your number's shadow is, put it into your own words. Now put that paper somewhere. You'll see it every morning. Not to punish yourself, to stay awake. The shadow only controls you when it operates beneath your awareness. Second, ask 1 question every morning based on your number's mission. If you're a 1, what am I avoiding starting? If you're a 2, where am I losing myself to keep the peace? If you're a 3, am I expressing something true today or something safe? If you're a 4, am I building out of purpose or out of fear? If you're a 5, am I exploring or am I running? If you're a 6, am I healing or am I controlling? If you're a 7, am I seeking understanding or hiding in it? If you're an 8, am I using my power consciously? If you're a 9, what am I holding on to that my soul has already finished with? One question, every morning. Don't answer it with your mind. Let the answer surface through the day. Third, feed the light, not just the shadow. Most people who discover their destiny number focus entirely on the shadow, the thing to fix. That's important, but it's only half the work. Your number also carries a gift, a strength, and that gift needs to be exercised, not just understood. If your strength is originality, create something this week. If it's sensitivity, use it deliberately in one conversation. If it's compassion, direct it towards someone you'd normally overlook. Fourth, watch for the recurring number. Once you know your destiny number, you may begin to notice it appearing in your daily life, on clocks, on receipts, in addresses. This isn't magical thinking. According to Cayce, vibration attracts resonance. Your awareness of your number tunes you to its frequency, and you start to notice it. When you see it, just take it as a reminder. A tap on the shoulder. Pause for one breath. Recall your number's mission. Then continue with your day, 1 degree more aligned than you were a moment ago.
Let's sum it up. For Cayce, your destiny number isn't a fortune teller's prediction or fate. It's simply a description of the conditions your soul chose to work with this time. The immense inner strength that you have brought along with you, and the dark shadow that you must eventually face head-on. You can choose to simply ignore it and keep living just as you were before, paying absolutely no attention to it whatsoever. Many people, by the way, do exactly that. But once you've seen your shadow described in such simple terms, once you've recognized the pattern that's hindered your life for years, pretending nothing happened becomes a bit harder. Wouldn't you agree? That's all. It's just the music you're already playing. Now you've simply started to hear it better. Write your number in the comments. Just the digit. I read all your comments, and I'm truly interested to see who's on the other side of the screen today. Take care of yourself.